Welcome, Stuart. Along. Thank you. Stuart is at the sanctuary at the moment, and he's got a great message for us. Thank you, Stuart. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Bill. It's always an honor to be asked to speak. Thank you. So, my talk today is the title of that talk is The Power of the Powers. And by powers, I'm referring to the 12 powers. Now, unity is my spiritual home, and I'm very comfortable being here. And I love how you mentioned, Reverend Bill, about the oneness. I know there's a lot of polarization in the world at the moment, seems like a lot of division, but we are all one. And I don't think there could be a better name for the church than unity. It's absolutely perfect. So it took me a while to find this home at unity and to realize my oneness with the divine. So I'd like to share some of my spiritual journey in order to provide a little bit of context about what I've come through and also how I've come to understand the truth of unity. So I was raised Catholic. Everything Catholic I basically did. I went to Catholic primary school, Catholic church, Catholic secondary school, Catholic youth group. I was in the music ministry even back then. I think I started when I was about 15 or 16 playing in the church. I went away from the church after a period because I don't know, it wasn't kind of resonating with me, even though I was incredibly familiar with it, having been grown up in that paradigm. And my girlfriend at the time invited me to go to a Baptist church, which I really enjoyed at the time. Had a very nice energy. Once again, beautiful music. I got invited again to sing and play at that church, which I did for a long time, leading the singing. And it was pretty amazing too, because through that, I ended up singing at some very large gospel rallies. I sang at Festival Hall, Dallas Brooks Hall, these kind of venues. So I was kind of pretty immersed in the whole thing, and I still love singing at our sanctuary. I just love doing that. I love the music that we have in the church. I think it's so important. So after that, for a while, I went to a spirituals church on and off. So you can see my kind of progression to unity, which and I really enjoyed that period too. So I'm learning about the unity principles in our services, as we all are. And I'm finding that at Unity National School, and this is also a bit of a plug for the school, that I'm learning about these topics at a deeper level, and it's becoming more real for me. I'm really applying the lessons. And the beauty of the Unity National School is I'm getting to meet people virtually for the most part, all throughout Australia who are Unity members and through New Zealand. So once again, I'm really getting the sense of the unity of the church. It's been absolutely fantastic. If you come to the school, which I'd encourage you to do, it's online, there's an extra layer of knowledge that you'll gain, but there's also a sort of degree of intimacy where the participants really share what they're feeling, what they're going through. It's very powerful. So I'd definitely encourage you to look into that. Now, I've got some slides to share. I'll just get that started now. I know I love my slides. Okay. Are you able to see that slide at the moment? If you could maybe give me a wave or a thumbs up. Oh, thank you. All right. So the first one is about what the 12 powers are. So I've gotten this from Unity Spiritual Center, as you can see. So Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore created the 12 powers system and detailed it in his book, The 12 Powers of Man, published in 1930, which is pretty amazing because we're talking about something which is almost 100 years old here. I'm talking about the powers in particular. Fillmore believed that each of us received 12 God given powers and that we could create the life we wanted using these powers. So, the first thing I want to point out there is we've already received these powers. It's just a matter of utilizing them. So, it's not we might receive the powers, we did have the powers and we lost them. We've got them. So, and this sort of, I wanted to mention this too about this Power of Now is a very good song because that's an aspect of what I'm going to talk about. So it's not something from the past. It's not something we'll have in the future. It's something we have right now. Now, something I really am enjoying is that there is a power attributed to each month. So you've got faith for January, strength, Feb, etc., wisdom, love, power for this month, imagination for next month, understanding, will, order, zeal, elimination, and life. And you can combine these powers to manifest what you're seeking. I also found it interesting that these are the 12 powers, and one of the powers is power. I think that's very interesting, sort of encompasses the whole thing. Now, what I really enjoy is that we can learn these because it seemed like a lot to me at first. 12 powers, how am I going to remember all that? But I actually like that we feature one power each month because it gives us a chance to learn it. Once again, we went into a deeper dive at Unity National School into what these powers are and how to utilize them. So the Unity National School has certainly been part of my journey on both understanding the Unity principles and not just understanding them, but actually utilizing them. Okay, so the power of the month is power. Power is self-mastery and spiritual presence. The affirmation is, I have the power to create my world. The location of the body is the throat. Now, once again, I want to point this out about I have the power to create my world. Not one day I might have, I did in the past, but I no longer have the power. None of that. I have the power. And you'll notice in the affirmations, we very often say, I am, not I will, I might. That correlates to the song you heard before about the power of now. The time we can utilize these powers is in the present moment. The present moment is very powerful because of that reason. It's a time of manifestation where you can utilize these powers. Okay, also the apostle, it's not on that slide, but the apostle that's associated with this power is Philip. Okay, so I always like defining terms. So I went to the regular dictionary to look up power. The ability or capacity to do something or act in a particular way. I like that in the dictionary, it's even got the power of speech there. It couldn't be more perfect. The second definition says the capacity or ability to direct or influence the behavior of others or the course of events. Now, that one, I felt a little triggered by that because I don't want to be influenced. I never want to be influencing people in a negative way, that's for sure. So when I read the capacity or ability to direct or influence the behavior of others, but keep in mind, this is the dictionary definition, but there's still an interesting layer there. Okay, then of course I went for the metaphysical meaning of power. Now, this is from a wonderful website called Truth Unity. So you can access this metaphysical dictionary and also the revealing word online. So you don't necessarily have to have the books at your disposal. You can simply look them up. Oops. Okay, here we go. So the metaphysical meaning of power. Man's innate control over his thoughts and feelings. A quickening from on high must precede his realization of dominion. Now, there's a verse from Acts 1:8 here. Ye shall receive power when the Holy Spirit is come upon you. God is all power. Thus, all things are possible with him. I know people have a bit of it, sometimes have a bit of an issue with the him or her, but I actually like to think of God, or even that word can be triggering. Sometimes these things are difficult to talk about. One universal mind. I actually like that we all exist in the one universal mind. Okay, so now I have an Eric Butterworth quote. You were born to achieve, to release your inner power, to fulfill your uniqueness. So there's a bit to unpack there. The intention was that you would achieve. So you were born to achieve, to release your inner power. So once again, this is power that you already possess. To fulfill your uniqueness. Now, this aspect I find really interesting because it ties into authenticity, our own authentic selves. Now, that can be an intimidating journey at times to be yourself, because I know we feel like we get judged for being ourselves, and we might feel self-conscious and might want to homogenize ourselves to be accepted by the group, which I get. I've been on all those journeys, but the more I've let my authentic self come through, the more I've found that I've resonated with other people who were in tune with me. Interestingly, one layer of authenticity I've found is if I'm myself and I'm not repressing those aspects of myself, they can come out to be healed. So I might try and, I'm talking about authenticity here and being our true self. So I might try and hide something from you, an aspect of myself. I don't do it on purpose, but what I'm saying is if I feel shame about something or I'm awkward, I've found in my life experience that I'm better off being myself and being authentic, warts and all. And then through the unity of our oneness, you can say to me, Stuart, that's the way you're thinking there isn't quite right, or you need to be mindful of this and that. And that's happened to me at times, even on the committee, which has been fantastic. So I've also been learning in that way. So if I wasn't myself and my authentic self, I'd be withholding that aspect from the group and I wouldn't be learning. So the reason I'm dwelling on this is for two reasons. It's in this quote here, to fulfill your uniqueness. And it's also the truth of who and what we really are. So our authentic selves are very powerful. Then I've got a quote from Myrtle Fillmore, who is the co-founder, was the co-founder of Unity that was mentioned in the earlier slide. Keep your thoughts free from worry. Keep them on matters close at hand, on God's presence and power. So the way I unpack this is if I can keep my thoughts free of worry, then that's removing the doubt layer of my powers. Because as we know, well, I knew this even before coming to Unity, whatever I focus on, I get more of. So, I mean, I really feel like most people in the world know that. So if you're focused on something negative from the past, from the present, in the future, and what I'm talking about there is something that happened in the past, maybe something happened to you, something you're concerned about right now, a concern for the future, which may never actually eventuate, but focusing on it can contribute to its manifestation. Oh, wow, boom, there's a unity principle that people are already aware of out in the world. And it's just come into focus for me now. I try and be relaxed and authentic. And I hope you see that, and you're dealing with me. And it's because I've tried other ways and they weren't as enriching or as powerful. I didn't have as many amazing things unfolding in my life. until I started on that path. Okay, here we go. Matthew 17:20. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. That's Jesus speaking and recorded in Matthew 17:20. Okay, I'm sort of getting to the point of what I'm talking about now. So in my Catholic days, I've heard this verse forever, for as long as I can remember. So I heard this in my Catholic days, and at that time, my lens was, oh, if I'm a good boy, or if I praise God enough, if I believe in Him, if I might be able to do some of these things. But later in life, I told you, unity is my home, my spiritual home. I understand this on a much deeper level. If you have faith, basically, I view that as if you have faith in your own abilities, if you understand who you are, as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain. Now, the you can say is really interesting. We've got the verbalization, like we speak the affirmation. So it's talking about using your words. And we're not talking about if you ask God nicely, He's going to do this for you. It's you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Like the weight of that right now, even as I say those words, is hitting me. I'm creating this reality. So if I can shift my thinking into what I want, I can change my whole reality. I've been finding this. I'm going to give you an example at the end of the talk too, where I had this happen. I've had this happen more than once now through learning these principles. So I've got this is also about Philip. So because Philip is the apostle for the month, so I thought I'd include something from him. When the crowds heard Philip and saw the signs he performed, they all paid close attention to what he said. For with shrieks, impure spirits came out of many, and many who were paralyzed or lame were healed. Now, here's someone who saw Jesus, observed what he was doing, and got the message, right? Clearly, because then he's off doing it. I find that amazing too. There's so much to talk about with that one, but I won't dwell on that. But I'm giving an example of someone who absolutely utilized these powers. Okay, so I'll give you this example about manifestation. I'll stop sharing. At the moment, some of you probably know that I'm recording an album. And there's a couple of players from the Syncopators playing on one of the songs who Beverly has sung with. I don't know how that happened. It just happened. I didn't seek them out. The producer got in touch with these people. The producer said to me, you know what would be great on this song? A tuba. I thought, what? How? I don't know anyone who plays tuba. Where am I going to find that? Oh, let me work on it, I said to him. Now, I did focus on it like a manifestation, almost like an affirmation. I was thinking, I'm going to find something. I wasn't obsessive about it, but I was thinking about it and trying to work out how to solve this thing. I caught the train into work, and my friend Barry was on the train, who plays trombone, and we just got talking the entire ride on the train. This is about 2 weeks later. He randomly says to me, hey, I also play tuba. And in that moment, I thought, that didn't just happen. I didn't just hear that. I had to take a moment, even knowing these principles. And when something happens, I don't doubt it, but it's a powerful flow. I calmly said to him, you ever been in a recording studio? And he said, no, I never have, but I always wanted to. I invited him. He came in and recorded this tuba. So through my manifestation, I created a beautiful experience for myself and for him. So I just wanted to leave you with that example. There's many more I could tell you about, but these principles are real. The stuff we're focusing on here is absolutely real. I can testify to the fact because I've been using it and gaining amazing results. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you, Stuart. You could have gone on for another half hour as far as I'm
Sorry,
concerned.
sorry, Reverend Bill. I don't want to
Oh,
go on too long because otherwise I
that's all
would.
right. Imagine the gospel of Stuart manifesting the tuba. I love it. I think that's going to go down well. Would you give Stuart another round of applause, please? Thank you. That was amazing.